Welcome to the Full Time 15 podcast, episode 5, Matchday 7 review. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or your social media platforms for us as we're kind of trying to build something here. But I'm joined by Robin again today. How you doing, sir?
Doing quite well here on a Sunday evening. How are you?
Fantastic, mate.
I thought we could start off with the Bournemouth Fulham
Okay.
games. Is that
Yep.
also on the Friday? So we're trying
Yep.
to do things chronologically, and so
Okay.
uh, I just actually wrote that I wanted your take on this one because I was way off. In the preview we did on Friday.
hmm
Comes out on Saturday morning, 7 a.m. for you. Don't know. Um, I predicted a nil-nil stalemate, or maybe, you know, probably a Fulham win for
hmm
me. But fuck, I was way off. 3-1 Bournemouth, boom.
Uh, to be fair, in your defense, obviously I did go for a Bournemouth win. But in your defense, you said the words, if Fulham can contain Semenyo.
Yeah, obviously it could not because he
They could
scored
not
and
contain Semenyo, so and therefore, yeah, listen. I mean, it was looking rosy. I see Sessegnon obviously scored, and I was like, oh, here we go. This you're gonna be sat there licking your lips going, fucking told you, fucking told you.
yeah, I was actually saw it, when it was 1-1. And I thought to myself, well, okay,
Okay.
it's a little something something going on,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, but listen, Ariola's got on playing some great football. And listen, the conditions were tough as well. Obviously, the storm. I think it was Storm Amy. I got names these days for storms, but she rolled in and caused a bit of an issue on the south coast.
Mm-hmm.
But again, didn't affect Semenyo in the end. And I think his goal to seal the deal was fantastic. Great finish. Multiple, took on a couple of players and finished with a plum, as they say. But I was more interested, to be fair, in sort of Kevin watch, mate. To be honest with
Oh
you,
yeah, yeah, I knew you would bring that up. It just struck me, you know. But that's not a thing, everybody. That is not a thing that we are
listen, we're
gonna do.
I think we're campaigning for him now. I think you've lit the torch. You've lit that.
I really didn't.
You have, mate. He's come on 67th minute. He's got himself 23 minutes at the very least, plus
You
added
can take over,
time.
Kev Watch, because I've been doing it for years now. So
Listen, he's
I'm passing the torch.
yeah, you should, mate, as well. He's come from Brazil. He's got himself 25 minutes ish. A few nice touches, few, no, he's not really impacted the game too much, to be honest. So it's a little bit tough to be too critical of him. It's a cold night in Bournemouth on the south coast.
Yeah.
Not quite Stoke levels, Matt, on a Tuesday night, but it's
No, no,
getting
but
up there at the
that's
moment.
it's sounds about right. Yeah.
Treacherous. Yeah, that. Listen, the week Kevin scores, mate, or does a great assist or something, is the week we blow up, mate, because Kevin Watch will be off the off the tits for that week. But until then,
People just log on to YouTube and you just type in Kev
Kev
Watch.
Watch to the moon, mate. But yeah, so anyway, no, obviously for me, standard win for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Flying high at the moment. Really doing really well. Surprised in your analysis that you didn't think they'd had a very good start to the season, or
Yeah, no, because in the last like three or four games, they've grabbed some points, but
Mm,
they haven't really been that good
mm,
that people tend to believe. But and I was also looking for a Fulham win there,
yeah,
somewhere in the dark. Do you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, exactly.
Nearly got there with the Fulham win, but not really, because it was 1-1, and then I think it was like two late goals for Bournemouth. Anyway, 3-1.
3-1. As I'm in the Champions League positions at the moment, mate.
Yeah.
Long may that continue.
Can you imagine if the top eight, as it stands, can you imagine if that finishes like that? It's
Listen, I'll be over the moon, mate, to be honest with you. But do you see Bournemouth challenging for the European positions long term this season, or is it just a flash in the pan kind of early season form? Are they going to sustain the challenge? Are we doing them a disservice
Well,
here? And are they title challengers? They're 2 points off the top of the table, or is that absolutely ludicrous to be saying?
not fighting for the European spots. I think because if something happens to Semenyo and if he gets injured maybe or he loses a little bit of form and they start to sort of go on more of a negative run, I can't see them having the players and the edge of sort of turn that around. And I think over the course of 38 games, Semenyo won't keep that up, and
Hmm.
teams, in this case, will learn how they play, and if teams can just contain then Semenyo, then uh, I, yeah, I think Bournemouth will struggle
Hmm.
actually. But that being said, Iraola, he seems like a really really good manager. Because the players that he has now, the squad
Mm.
that he has at his disposal at the moment, he's doing well, a little bit too well maybe, and so that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Seems like a really good manager though.
yeah, 100%. And then, like you say,
Easy to like.
easy to like, very good manager. But is there another job that he could be taking mid-season where he leaves Bournemouth in the lurch? A Man United, dare I
Yeah,
say?
maybe, but
One of the
that's
big boys.
he won't get the sack, even though Bournemouth might go on sort of a more negative
Oh yeah,
run
no,
there.
yeah.
So definitely not getting sacked, but you know,
I
we'll see what
know,
happens.
I know. You said
Interesting
you
though,
wanted to.
squad.
Yeah, yeah. I know you said you wanted to go chronologically, mate. But it kind of is a nice segue for me into
Mhm.
one-man team potentially in terms of Bournemouth and Semenyo, to another in terms of Man City and Haaland.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that one. We're here
What's your thoughts
podcasting
on
just
that?
on the whistle at Brentford, Manchester City just finished 1-0
Yep.
to Manchester City. So yeah, please go ahead.
For me, a tale of two halves, mate, to be honest. First half, Man City were just, far and away the better side. You know, Brentford didn't really have a sniff. I mean, City didn't, they were dominant, but they weren't exactly, in terms of creating chances and things like that. It wasn't a complete annihilation in terms of the first half. Obviously, it was only 1-0. I thought it was poor defending on the goal, to be honest. One long ball, Haaland. He's let the ball bounce, has come across him. He's then taken a touch into his favoured side, which he's always going to be doing. It kind of felt like he was ushered into that, pushing it to his left side, and then once he gets on his left side, it's yeah, it's going to end in a goal more than likely. I don't know if we can be critical of Kelleher or not. To be honest, I think it very difficult. But again, possibly some criticism there for him. Definitely criticism for the two centre backs, pushing him onto his favoured side and
Yeah.
finishing. But then second half, I'd like to think that Keith Andrews has tweaked a few things and they've certainly come out and had the better share of it in the second half for me.
Hmm.
Just couldn't get a goal. Obviously, ultimately ends 1-0 and they lose the game. But um,
And now they faced the both Manchester sides now. 2 weeks in a row,
mhm,
and now we speak a lot about that. If you would take something beforehand, and
mm,
if they would have, had 3 points against Manchester United and just lose 1-0 to Manchester City, they they would take that, I think. 3-1 to Manchester United, 1-0 loss, Manchester City. Nobody really expected anything else, and so
Mhm.
I think they would, they are not super angry. I think they are. I
Yeah,
think they are doing quite well anyway.
yeah. I mean, they're obviously 16th in the table, 7 points from 7 games. They're kind of where I expect them to be
Mm.
in terms of where I predicted them to be, I think. Kind of not quite 17th, but 16th, 15th, I think it was, which is
I
where I
think I had
expect
them
them to
at
be.
exact at 17th actually.
Yeah. So they're kind of where they are. And obviously, Keith Andrews is a young manager, um, essentially learning as he goes for his first Premier League job. Um, and they've had a tough start to the season. Obviously, they've played Chelsea, Man United, and Man City. Obviously, they played them all at home, which probably helps. Um,
What stood out for me because I was in and out of this game, and
mm,
what stood out was that Manchester City had 4-2-1 shots on target, but the expected goals, so XG, as you abbreviate it, is
yeah,
was exactly the same.
yeah,
Like one, maybe 0.82 and 0.83, but the same. So it's interesting that.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I think that is basically what we touched upon there in a sense of City had a lot of the ball, didn't really do
Hmm.
too much with it in terms of creating those big chances. Um, but again, Brentford changed something at half time, came out second half and with a better side, or they were certainly much better in the second half.
Hmm.
But ultimately, like I say, lost the game and go into the international break trying to figure out a few tweaks and a few things that there'd be a lot of encouragement from the game, a lot of things they want to improve upon, but I don't think he's going to be, like you say, too distressed, beating United 3-1 last weekend and then obviously losing narrowly 1-0 this weekend.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So
Uh,
yeah, perfect.
yeah, I'll let you
Can I
go to the
just
next one, mate.
rewind now to the Saturday during the lunchtime kickoff, which was Leeds against Tottenham.
Yep.
And for me, Tottenham did what they had to, like a really strong performance actually to grab all 3 points in that weather up in Leeds after coming back from the Arctic Circle, as you so nicely put it on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when they scored the 2-1 goal there in the 60th or 57th minute or so, uh, the home side weren't really uh, close to scoring. So 2-1 Tottenham, yeah, sort of what you could expect a little bit. We just sort of wanted Leeds to win, didn't we?
I mean, yeah, and I think was it that Leeds were unlucky? Was it that Spurs were lucky? Was it a combination of the both? Or because if you didn't watch the game and you just went off the stats, for example,
Mhm.
Leeds had the better, you know, XG, more
Yeah, I
shots,
saw that
more
quite,
shots on
yeah, quite
target.
emphatically as well.
Yeah, yeah, and 3 times as much XG
Yeah,
as Spurs. Four big chances to one for obviously Spurs is one
I
big
remember
chance.
Leeds hitting the post.
Leeds at the
Probably
post.
that raises it
Harry made a good few
quite a lot,
saves,
probably.
but also I
Mm.
think a lot of the stats become skewed a little bit because
Yeah,
very
they do,
in
and
games like this where you
it's not
have
really
one
played on
team,
paper.
yeah, but you have one team where it's all about game state, isn't it? Obviously, Spurs are winning 2-1 with 10 minutes to go. They're happy to sit in and say break us down. We've got 3 points at the moment. If you don't score, we're leaving with the 3 points. So obviously, Leeds are going to have the ball. Leeds are going to be throwing everything at them, and the stats are going to go
Yeah,
up immeasurably from that scenario. But on the same hand, can you then say, well, it's unlucky for Leeds to pick up anything from the game and leave without, a point? Um, I, I I think it's a combination, really. I think Spurs did well, obviously, but I wouldn't go as far to say as they deserved the 3 points, to be honest. Now that
they
again,
rarely do.
exactly. Again, it's bias. It's bred from being biased, and
Yeah.
from
Oh,
that
shine through
it shines through. It does. So take it with a pinch
sometimes.
of salt.
Uh,
But I do think that Leeds were unlucky to not come out at least with a point in this one.
mm.
But again, signs of a good side to win the game, get 3 points, and not be fully at their best. In my opinion,
Yeah, could have gone either which way actually, because as I said, Leeds hit the post. Vicario made a couple of fantastic saves, and so
yeah,
could have easily conceded instead. So it's a good victory, and as I said, Tottenham played midweek, uh,
yeah,
came back from Norway, going up to Leeds. It's a lot of traveling.
it is.
So
It's also
they are now, yeah, I believe they are really happy going into the international break, having this win. So yeah, there we are. Anything to add for that one?
no, just the fact that I know a couple of the results in the previous 2 weeks
Mm,
weren't particularly great from a Spurs perspective in terms of drawing at home to
right.
Wolves,
Hmm.
going away to how would you pronounce them, mate?
Buddha,
Thank you very
Int.
much.
Yeah.
Um,
Marco, like Marco Bizot.
Shout out to that to the legend Unai Emery.
I can't let it go, sorry. Yeah,
I don't want you to let it go, mate.
never.
But yeah, two poor results there technically on paper, for them, but it amounts to that they're unbeaten in the last 7, 8 games now. So whilst they're not great results, they
Hmm.
have been beaten since Bournemouth at home. I think 30th of August or late August. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, going well, going steady, and in a good place going into the international break. Unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Good.
I say no lie.
Right, so speaking about London teams, then Arsenal play West Ham in a
Yeah,
London derby
yeah,
at the Emirates Stadium, 3 o'clock kickoff.
yeah.
And we mentioned it before, in the preview, that Arsenal will probably win this one because they're so heavy and they're still looking for their top form, but you know, uh, they're in good form enough to beat West Ham at the moment, I think. But we also said that it would be tighter than people might think.
Hmm.
And, they had it under control at 1-0, but it's just that.
Yeah.
It's just 1-0, and anything can happen in football. We've seen it, you know, loads of times before. And also Pence's situation, the tackle starts from outside the box,
Hmm.
and for me that is not a penalty. Am I missing something? Because I know that for every new season there is like small inflections on
Mm.
the rules,
Mm.
and they sort of change. But for me, historically, that is not a penalty because the tackle starts outside the box and sort of falls into the box, and he wants to fall into the box as well
Mm.
because he wants it to look like the tackle started from yeah, just inside the box. And for me, it's not a penalty. Or am I missing something here?
Uh, no, possibly. I think from one angle you see it looks obviously the contact starts outside the box, obviously. That's easy for everyone to see. But I don't
Hmm.
think there's enough contact when it starts for that to be a foul in itself in isolation. It's when he comes around with the leg and his if you're looking at the side angle where his leg
Hmm.
comes round and his knee hits Timber's quad or whatever it is,
Hmm.
that uh,
Is that inside?
collision, if you want to call it that, happens right on the line of the 18-yard box, and obviously then Timber feels his body from what's his name?
No, I don't know actually who it
Yeah, it
was,
was
but
Diouf.
okay.
And then obviously falls forward into the box. So I think
And
you,
if it's on the line, it is
on
in
the
fact
line's
a
a
penalty.
penalty. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
line is in. So I'm happy enough
Mm.
with that in terms of that side of thing. I can understand the argument because obviously he's you know he's on him before he gets into the box, but there's no foul for me on Timber in the initial kind of it's only when he makes contact with his leg. Uh,
And if
it's a
that's the
foul.
case, if that's why, then shout out to the referee then, because that's well done to him then.
Well,
In the heat of the moment, you have to make the right call because if they get the penalty, they probably score two nil,
yeah,
game over.
but
So it's a really important call as well.
it certainly is. But to play devil's advocate here, if he
Mm.
gives a free kick, um, instead of a penalty, I don't think VAR is overruling that and giving us a penalty.
Probably not, but ifs and buts.
Yeah, of course it is, but it's just one of those things where by giving the penalty, I know we saw it last week, literally last weekend, where we saw it got overturned in
Mm-hmm.
strange circumstances. We've been over that to death, but
Mm.
it's unlikely for it to be overturned if they've given it, unless there's a massive, kind of
I
situation.
thought I thought actually initially that it would be overturned, but then when we saw that the VAR didn't really intervene for that long, so okay, so it's a penalty. They don't really.
Mm,
They've seen it.
yeah,
They've
I
made
just
up
think,
their minds, But I
yeah,
thought actually, okay, fucking hell, the contact is outside the box, so we're not going to get the penalty. But then, well, here we are.
yeah. But for me, if that happens at the other end, again, I'd still be saying it's a penalty because the contact comes from the side. It's
Mm.
not. He's not holding him per se too much in terms of for me to it to be a free kick. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a penalty, but it's one of those things where it is what it is. And I'd be saying this exact same thing if it was West Ham at the other end, but
yeah,
they kind of need to get into the box for that to be a case. It
yeah,
was
exactly.
honestly, I
Yeah,
was so
exactly.
disappointed with them. I was so
The
disappointed
overall
with them.
also looked much better,
Yeah, and it felt like we
so
didn't.
it wasn't really.
I felt like not it was, you know, I don't think they. I was like I said during the preview, I was concerned by the counter attack of them and Somerville and Bowen and seeing it Monday night, but they offered
Krug as well. It didn't
yeah,
really.
well they offered nothing for me. To be
Yeah,
honest.
and they didn't really get along. Are they playing in the same team? I wonder.
I just honestly, mate, it's a strange one because, like I said, I was genuinely thought, shit, okay, I'm a little bit worried, especially 1-0 still. But there wasn't any moment where I kind of felt like, oh Christ,
Hmm.
we didn't get out
Yeah,
of
but
first gear.
then
It felt
again,
like,
it can't come out of the blue, out from fucking nothing.
yeah,
Okay, goal
yeah,
from a corner. Boom.
yeah,
Okay, 1-1, 88th minute.
yeah,
Okay, we
yeah,
need to push.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly,
but
exactly.
anyway, 2-0. Uh,
2-0.
Fantastic win if you're an Arsenal supporter, which we are. So yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, I think very quickly we touch upon obviously Erdegaard's injury.
Yeah.
Uh, First player in history to be subbed in the first half in three consecutive Premier League games, which is a mental a mental stat. But
Is that a real stat?
yeah, it's yeah, because he got subbed, didn't he, for
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
his shoulder when he first did it, and
Hmm.
then his shoulder again, and then obviously the knee this week. I think there's news come out just not too long ago that he's done his MCL, which they haven't said what kind of grade strain it is yet, but it's anywhere from 2 weeks to kind of 6 weeks. So
Okay.
um, he'll be out for a little bit. Good. I mean, handy that's the international break, and he can kind of work from
Hmm.
London.
Hmm.
But again, also wanted to touch upon very quickly Gyökeres. Um, for me, he's been getting a little bit of flack from Arsenal fans. I don't think, excuse me, I think he's getting flack from certain corners of the Arsenal fan base who maybe haven't seen him play too much, and they just think all he brings is goals, and he's not scored goals, so he's
Yeah, I think we spoke about this last week as well. You know, when he did so well against. No, no, it was actually from midweek when he did so well against Olympiacos at home.
Mhm.
Also in the Newcastle game, I remember.
Yeah, but listen, for me, his work rate
Hmm.
is fantastic, and I read some. I can't remember who it was, so I can't give the source, unfortunately. Not that they care because we'll have about five people viewing it at this point. But the point is, whoever it was, shout out to you in terms of them saying that he's now occupying the centre half, who is touch tight to him on his back. But he's also occupying the second centre half, who is cautious of when he's making that run in behind because
Yeah,
they've either got to go with him or they've got to
exactly.
step and play the offside trap with him. And nine
Right.
times out of ten, his runs are on point, so he's going to break the line and break the offside trap.
Hmm.
So he's occupying two players essentially, which then brings the fullbacks in because obviously they need to shift over to cover the space that the two centre backs are kind of, you know, leaving once they're trying to occupy Gyökeres, which gives more space and fluidity to Saka and Trossard and Martinelli or whoever else it is.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's a
Um,
really good analysis, actually.
so then it
Good.
basically a lot of the work goes unnoticed, and I think you saw Arteta after the game say, "I just went and found him and gave him a massive hug and just said the fucking goals will come, don't worry about it," kind of thing. What he's
Hmm.
doing for us is creating space against these teams that want to sit in that, you know.
Yeah, he's doing it brilliantly, and I'm sorry if you are so narrowly minded. You know, if you can't widen your perspective enough to see what he brings to the team, I'm sorry you are not tactically good enough. I'm sorry, just
Mm. Yeah, I just it,
yeah,
it just
it'll
screams like I
come,
say.
and I'll be here watching when it
Yeah.
comes. Because when it comes, it will be a
Oh,
fucking thunderstorm.
it's gonna click. It's gonna click with the goals. He's getting rotten luck at the moment with situations and last actions where he slips or he's
Mm.
he's he's, he's something happens. But now I'm listening.
And
Whilst
I
we're
think yeah, sorry.
no, go on. But what I just think whilst we're winning now and listen, we're top of the league going into this international break and we've still got the Gyökeres goals to come essentially.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
without the goals, I'm loving the fact he's going up against the Premier League centre halves and giving them shit as much as they're giving him shit.
Yeah,
And he's up and he's up. He's like next one. Like let's have the next one. Let's go next one. Next one. Like he's not shying away from it.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
and those goals will come just like they did with Havertz. Just like Havertz was getting pelters. And then he went on a fucking 9 game scoring run at the Emirates or something and nearly got the record or broke the record. I can't remember how that ended, to
Mm.
be fair, but I
Yeah,
think
and that thought struck me actually mid-game. Uh, the thing you're mentioning there, going into the international break, top of the league without Gyökeres goals, more or
mm,
less.
yeah,
So that is quite decent, and so we're in for a treat, I
absolutely,
think.
mate. Yeah, absolutely. I'm listen, I'm looking forward to it and hopefully he can
We'll have
get
yet
a couple of
another
goals.
dimension
Yeah.
to look forward to.
Who
Um,
are who are Sweden playing by the way in the week?
Switzerland on Friday
Oh, it's a tough one.
at home, in Gothenburg, I think.
Is it in Gothenburg?
I think so. At least the Kosovo game on Monday is.
Oh, are there
Mm.
any tickets available for that? Are
Right?
there any tickets available?
I think they're both actually sold out.
Shame.
I
Shame.
think. I am definitely not sure.
Shame, because that would have
It's
been
what I heard.
nice. But either way, he's opportunity for Gyökeres to get. in amongst the goals and get some confidence and come back refreshed and ready.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that, you said that in the final moments, when he's supposed to score, he hits the post, or the goalkeeper
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
just there, or he slips, or it's
Yeah.
just something happens, and a striker's confidence comes from goals, So when he scored three already, yeah, but it was a couple of games ago, and when he just gets the one,
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Completely agree.
Moving on,
Where are we going?
Manchester United, Sunderland.
Okay. What do you
I
think
think
of that
I
one,
think
mate?
Manchester United did what they wanted to do and what they needed to do, to
Hmm.
uh, for the squad as a whole. A home win, not too much to talk about really. Um, just 2-0 at home. Decent win for them. Chesko scored. Everything looked fine. Just something I want to mention is that if because Sunderland had a really big chance in the 87th minute or so,
Mm.
and if they would have conceded then, Manchester United, then it would have been super duper game on
Hmm.
again.
Hmm.
So that could have changed like in just a couple of minutes. But again, I think that is could have been sort of a hollow victory again for Manchester United because now they're headed into the international break. Amorim will not get sacked before that. I guess he's gonna keep on going. Because okay, so we actually had the 2-0 win here. Going into the international break. He gets more time. You know, uh, Having a look back on previous games.
Hmm.
What can we do better? And then they're headed to Anfield, I think, um, the weekend after the international break. So
Hmm. They are indeed.
that'll be tough. Uh, so, you know, uh, opponents, and supporters like us, people who support other teams, we want Amram to stay,
Mm.
and I think we
100%.
will see him staying because just because they won now. If they would have lost this one, it would be it that would have been a totally different discussion. But um, they
Yeah.
didn't, so here we are.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good fixture for Liverpool to have, I think, after the break. We'll obviously go on to them in a minute, but
Hmm.
uh, tough one for United to go into. Off, they'll have a couple of days with the squad. Obviously, most players fly in from all over the world, and
Hmm.
it's difficult to get too much done in the last couple of days before the big game. So that'll be interesting to see how they adapt, see how they go with that mid-table at the moment. Um,
Hmm.
but Man United, Liverpool, Man United's always a big game, and they owe them, I think, for the past couple of seasons, especially 2, 3 years ago was 7-0 and
Hmm.
a couple of other big defeats.
Hmm.
So that'll be interesting. But again, yeah, it was kind of as expected for me. This one, kind of a routine win. As much as we're kind of impressed with the way Sunderland have gone about things and picked up 11 points from their first 6 games. Obviously, they play 7 now, but
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now to follow Chesco as well because now he scored his first goal, second goal maybe.
second guy, yeah.
Or
Well, I think
was
he's
this
scored
maybe the first in the Premier League? Anyway,
second in Premier League, I think.
let's
Yeah.
just see if he can get on a sort of on a run here, riding the wave. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's that. So Liverpool, you mentioned, played
Liverpool.
away, played away at Stamford Bridge.
Hmm.
The big one on the Saturday evening, 5:30 kickoff. Caicedo with a wonderful hit. The goalkeeper sort of he's on it, making it look even nicer. But
Hmm.
it's a really good hit there. Just questioning Van Dijk's action there, his defending. a little bit strange. I don't know if uh, you've seen the goal afterwards, and if you have a look
Mm.
at Van Dijk, it looks really weird. Like he's five,
It's
6, 7 meters off the ball, and he's
Mhm.
trying to sort of block it. Well, it's not even near you.
I,
But just looked funny.
it is funny. It was funny, and I've I've got someone I grew up with.
Mm.
He's actually in a really prominent position at a football-based or sports-based company who deal a lot with Premier League teams and stuff like that. And he's quite an opinionated chap
Hmm.
on Twitter, and he's an Arsenal fan. But his kind of hot take on it was that Van Dijk's made a living out of basically not engaging, you know, the
Oh,
strikers
okay, right,
when he's
right.
defending and just kind of because you remember like a few seasons ago, maybe it was last season that there was a stat going around that Van Dijk
Mm.
hadn't been dribbled past or whatever it was,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's basically saying that the reason is because he never engages with them. He just sort of jockeys off with them and lets them pass off or whatever else. And it was very
Yeah.
similar to that. And his hot take on it was that he wouldn't put Van Dijk in the top 20 Premier League defenders of all time. And
Very interesting, to say the least.
yeah, because right now he's being kind of lambasted or labeled as the fucking GOAT as a
Yeah, yeah, that
defender.
really bothers me. That really annoys me because I don't know. I haven't had that discussion with anybody. I've heard people say that, I'm just sighing, like,
Yep.
whatever. If that is what you think, then okay.
But that's what I
If
mean. I
one
don't.
plus one is three, then okay.
But that's the thing. I don't
Whatever
know if
you
it's
think.
hyperbole or it's because he's been like not his biggest fan for a long time anyway. But for me, Van Dijk's been phenomenal this season alone. In the games I've seen him play for Liverpool, whether
Mm.
they win the game, whether they've lost the game, I, his performances have been huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Now, one thing talking about Van Dijk, I did want to bring up is his comments after the game, and he said about obviously there's factors on the pitch, but also
Mm.
factors off the pitch.
Oh
Like
yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah. What did he mean by that? Do you know?
yeah, so he's obviously referring to Diego
Oh
Jota's
yeah. Oh, okay, okay, right.
untimely passing. But my I've seen some mad things online from Liverpool fans criticizing the team and listen, rightly so. They've lost 3 games in a row. That's absolutely fine. But taking his comments and then basically disregarding them, saying, you don't say that when you win. It's not on your,
Hmm.
it's not being mentioned but it's completely irrelevant, how he handles it in terms of when they win, when they lose, because they've all lost someone very close to them unexpectedly and just been asked to, right, he's gone, Premier League season started, off you go. No respite, kind of no
Hmm.
grace period, essentially. You're back into it because he was essentially on his way back to Liverpool for pre-season. So 5 weeks
Yeah.
before the start of the season, 6 weeks, he obviously lost his life, unfortunately. And Liverpool just expected to go on and continue and fucking, you know, play the way they've been playing all the rest of it. And it's a massive factor for them. I just find it disgraceful, to be honest, how some, not just Liverpool fans, it must be said that there are rival fans who are, playing on it as well and saying things. But it's difficult to see, to be honest. As much as I will lap up Liverpool losing games and, their fan base getting fucking humbled and stuff like that, 'cause I think they're, for the large parts, very, I don't know, very strange bunch, as are Arsenal fans online, it has to be said. But I just find it very distasteful that people are going after Van Dijk about this, saying he's using it as an excuse that is why they lost the game, or it's a point that needs to be made that these guys are going through something and it just doesn't go away because they win games or it doesn't go away because they've lost a game. it's still
exactly.
there, it's still
Right.
fresh. So I
Yeah.
really like that side of it, to be fair. Is my
Brilliant.
thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I have no idea what to add to that. It's just that's brilliant.
Good. Oh, well, I'm glad. I was semi worried you were going to be like, fucking.
No, 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 not today. Not on Sunday.
No, not
Can
Sunday.
you imagine if it would have been a Friday with a beer,
Couple of
and all
beers,
that.
couple of beers deep,
Did
mate.
you see?
No,
Did you
absolutely not.
see a lot a lot from this game, or
I saw the best parts of the game, which was
okay?
the
So the last 9 minutes
Cucurella.
there, yeah. Did you see Salah's performance? Really struck me as really really poor, and he came to similar situations couple of times, in the game, when he cuts in from his right side, he's sort of his favorite position a little bit, but he's taking the wrong decisions, and his finishing was shameful. It was,
Mm,
I don't know, like two or three times he sort of did the same things, and I think it was one time when he was supposed to defend or run back, to stop a counter attack. And he just didn't give a shit. And then so I thought to myself that maybe that's what happens when you sign a new contract, a big uh, multi-million contract. You were sort of supposed to leave.
mm,
People were ready for you to leave, but then you got the offer of what you know how much money that was. I don't know. I don't care. I don't mind. But when you do that, it was a big contract anyway. And so when you do that, it's just okay, whatever. I can stay. I'll play here. Yeah, it's a decent club. So it's a dangerous game to be played there when you sign a big of a big contract, and when you expect him to deliver as well as he did last season, this this game, and I don't know, might might have been the beginning of the end for him, because that was really poor from him.
hmm yeah. You make a point, a great point in terms of the contract situation. That happens far too often with players. But on the flip side, you could say the same exact thing about Van Dijk. Obviously, he was I don't know what he was doing on the first goal. Obviously, but his performances this season alone for me have been very very you know phenomenal, I think was the word I used earlier, and he's been, he has been phenomenal to be fair to him. And he signed a similar deal. I don't know, again, the ins and outs of the fees. I'm assuming probably Salah got a little bit more, but
No,
not
we
not,
don't
not
really
much
have to
more.
get into the details because we don't
It's
know,
no,
so it
exactly,
doesn't
still a
really
massive
matter. But
contract.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
he's he's still there. But again, Salah is never going to be a player who's going to be running home and running back and defending too much.
Yeah, but this time in this particular situation, it looked so obvious, but
Yeah.
just leaving it to my teammates, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
the king here anyway, so
Yeah, and listen, he's built up enough of a
I'm reading too
reputation
much
to
into it, maybe. I
maybe
don't
do
know.
that. No, but his start of the season has been chalk and cheese, compared to, let's say, Van Dijk's, for example, or where
Hmm.
Salah was last season. Um, Completely different. So he hasn't started at all well yet for me. In the games I've seen as well, he's been, he hasn't really impacted them as much as he would have liked. But again, this was the same last season. We spoke about it, or we touched upon it. We obviously weren't podcast or anything, but I remember speaking about it, saying he's somebody who is getting goals and assists and things in games last season, but he's not impacting a game for 85 minutes of the game. He's doing
Mm.
next to nothing. He's not offering much. He's not defending, like you say. He's not creating chances. He's getting the ball and he's losing it, or he's just recycling or whatever. But then in the 93rd minute, he pop up and he'll score, or in the 88th minute, he beats his man and crosses it, and it's a goal.
Is that
And
enough, you
again,
mean?
huh?
Is that enough, you mean?
Well, no, I mean like at some point that will die out, dissipate. It will, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. So, and that chance for him in the 88th or 93rd minute might not even come to him, you know?
Exactly.
So
And
then
yeah,
he's been on the pitch doing,
then you're
fucking
carrying
nothing.
someone. And it sounds mental to
Yeah.
say you're carrying Salah because he's been carrying Liverpool for the longest time, realistically speaking, if we're being honest. But now is it becoming a conversation now? Three defeats in a row in all competitions. He's not firing all cylinders. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
And
he's
then
listen, he's got a
and
lot of
then he'll go on and score a hat trick on at Anfield against Manchester United. And this is just,
yeah,
you
literally.
know,
But he's got a lot in the bank for what he's done for the club and in the Premier League as a whole. So
yeah,
we can't criticize him after 3 games. But his start of the season for me hasn't been near enough good enough to be fair. If I'm
beginning
being
of the end,
honest.
maybe, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens. We'll
That's
see
what
what happens.
matters.
Yeah, but for the game as a whole, could have gone, either which way for me, and a draw would have been fine, in terms of how they both
Mhm.
performed. Um, and that late goal, as you mentioned, that goal didn't hurt.
Did not hurt at all, mate.
But it's
Maybe
that,
hurt my
because
neighbours,
Liverpool,
maybe.
eh?
Hurt my neighbours, maybe, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
uh, but nobody else, to be honest.
Oh no, that's uh, that's perfect. I'm just asking myself if that is becoming maybe Liverpool's weakness now, because that was their strength a couple of weeks ago, scoring late. Now they conceded late, like super duper late against Crystal Palace and Chelsea now as well. So I don't know. That is
Well,
just coincidences, maybe, but it's just a little something to have a look out for.
well, you know that saying, mate. I'm going to butcher it now, but it's along the lines of you're a hero, you stay long enough to, live to
Mm,
become the villain, essentially. Is that what they're
mm,
doing now? They were banging in the goals late, and then
yeah,
it's one defeat, and it's gone the other way now. I don't know. I don't know. I think the international breaks come at a good time for them, to be fair. And
reality
they have a
is
great
catching
game.
up.
They have a great game to come back to. Doesn't get much bigger from a Liverpool perspective than Liverpool Man United, regardless of where Man United's been the last few
Yeah,
years.
sure.
Um,
Well, that's a good one.
it's a good one. And, like we've been saying, Man United not at their best, so
Mm,
they're up for it. It should be a good game for that one.
yeah, reality is catching up. Liverpool, maybe. Anyway, moving on to today's game, we need to pick this up a little bit.
Yep, yep, yep.
Aston Villa Burnley. Aston Villa got the
3 points
win.
for Villa. Game done.
Yeah, exactly.
Next
Not
one.
much to talk about. Just want to mention that Marlon scored 2 goals, two really good finishes in the same corner
Donyama.
uh,
Yeah.
as well.
Ex-Arsenal
So
product.
yeah, exactly. Doniel, I think
Hmm.
his first name is.
Yep.
Um, Burnley's defense, though, super poor, I must say. But anyway,
Uncharacteristically
you
poor.
still have to score. You still have to score the
Mm.
goals, and so they did well there. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's not much more to touch upon in this one. I think it was as expected. Late Burnley goal possibly crept into a bit of in the minds of Villa players maybe in the last closing stages, but they held on and I think it was a comfortable win in the end, 2-1.
it's a
Uh,
dangerous time to score there. Having 2-0, being
yeah.
conceding in the 77th minute or so. That is living on the edge a little bit.
I wonder if
But
Unai
Burnley
Emery.
are scoring at least because
Yeah,
the history in the Premier League over the last couple of times when they've been up, uh, they haven't done absolutely nothing
Yeah.
they've done. So uh, now they're scoring at least, but it seems like they are just a little bit too short. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit short against Manchester United, just a little bit too short. I guess Liverpool, strong side, oh, not strong side, but big sides in a way. And then just a little bit short away to Aston Villa. It's a long season still, a long, 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 long way to go. But it's a worrying pattern,
Hmm.
I think, for Burnley.
Absolutely.
But yeah, for Liverpool, you mentioned the international break comes at a really good time, and same for Burnley for me.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep. I agree.
perfect. Moving on. Uh, you called this one. Everton win. Crystal Palace
Yep.
lost, and so that ended their unbeaten run for, was it 19 games? I'm not
19
sure.
game
I'm not
unbeaten
sure.
run, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Everton's penalty situation there?
I didn't actually see this game at all. I didn't see the game today. Obviously there was like three or four games going on at the same time.
No.
Um, so difficult to see them all, naturally.
I've
Um,
missed big parts actually today as well. I've tried to catch up
yeah.
as well as I can, but it's for me it's a clear penalty, and nobody can say nothing about it. So um, even though Lacroix is tripping whoever that was, I don't know. But I think Lacroix might be a little bit underrated centre back a little bit. Never talked about doing really well for Crystal Palace, uh, and I think that is when Liverpool didn't get Guehi or Gehi, I don't know the pronunciation there, but
Yeah.
they could have gone for
Unlike you.
Lacroix, in the last couple of minutes of the transfer window. They didn't. Whatever. Um, I'm just saying it's flying under the radar. It's never spoken of. So a little, you know, I'll play it to scrutinize a little bit more maybe
Yeah,
of the
completely.
coming of the
I
coming
actually
coming
agree with
weeks.
you. I actually agree with you because obviously, like you
You
say,
actually agree with me?
I actually do, yeah, for a change. There's not often, but I do in this instance, mate. But
Yeah,
no, listen, Gay takes a lot of the plaudits and takes the spotlight away from, his, I guess you could say, defensive partners, etc. Um,
yeah.
but Lacroix came in and he came with a big kind of potential from, I want to say
Mm.
Werder Bremen. I don't know if it is Werder Bremen, but um, either way,
I don't
wherever
know
he
either.
came from, German club, I think
Mm.
it was. I'm gonna have to look at this now as we're speaking, but he's he's got the potential to be a top player, and he's playing very very well, and he's a big part of that Crystal Palace defense alongside Gay. It's not just him; it's the whole structure. But they did lose the game today, which I'm kind of pleased about because, like I said,
Did you?
I thought they would. Um,
Yeah, it feels like Everton this season has that sort of edge a little bit. I don't know if we've podcast it, but we've spoken about it anyway.
mhm.
And since I have predicted Everton to finish seventh or eighth
Yep,
this season, it was a nice win for me as well. Uh, but
absolutely,
it
absolutely.
feels like a season. They scored in 93rd minute today, and it feels like a season where it's sort of late goals. That's the way. That's the right way to go this season. We've seen it so many times already, and we're like, yes, match week 7.
Hmm. It's
So
yeah,
I don't know if that is a strength or if that tells you something about the quality. Yeah, I don't know if it tells you fucking anything, man. I don't know. It could be random.
yeah,
That it just comes at so um, in the later stages of the game. But
yeah.
and Everton has got that edge this season, and with David Moyes being back, new stadium, really good summer signings, and the summer signings, as we have touched upon as well earlier, they needed Everton at the same time when Everton needed them. It was a really good match. Uh,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, and so that sort of edge I'm talking about, that might be uh, that could be confidence, and that could be belief, not actually a physical player, or because that edge that they have,
Yep.
taking all these things to account, the as I said, moist summer signings, new stadium, there's some, there's they have got that little edge this season. So maybe that's why they got the win, because they look
Mm.
uh, absolutely nothing like they looked last season. So in a positive way, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just a bit of housekeeping, mate. Lacroix was at Wolfsburg, not Werder Bremen, so
W
shameful from
anyway.
me.
Yeah.
Apologies all round for that to any Wolfsburg fans
Referring
watching.
to Dumb and Dumber. I knew it started with a W though.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep, exactly.
Samsonite, Swimmy, Swanson,
Um,
Swanson. Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Digressing, we are. Newcastle, Nottingham, 2-0.
Job done. Postecoglou sacked in the morning? Question mark.
Mm,
No.
yeah, maybe. It really hurts me because he's a likable man for me. Obviously, I don't know him at all, but
Yeah.
when I see him, when I hear him talk, it just seems like a nice bloke to have a beer with. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, and when his own fans singing, you get the sack in the morning. That is,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. It makes me sad. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
That's
He does
yeah.
come across, like I said to you before, he comes across as like when he was at Spurs, I thought he always spoke very well. He was always respectful. Ah, he lost a little bit in that
Yeah.
patch where he was kind of under pressure, but for the most part, always respectful, always, spoke a good game and stuff. So it's disappointing to see, but hopefully he can use these 2 weeks to, if he's got many players on the training ground still, if they're not all away with internationals,
Mm.
implement
Mm.
his plans and implement his, ideas to them. But I think he expected to happen a lot quicker than it did, and maybe he's learning himself a little
I don't
bit.
know if he has a plan B, to be honest.
No, but maybe they're not fully understanding what he's wanting from them. Because if you think about it, he came in, he was
Mm.
appointed, and the very next day he was away to us, at the Emirates. No time
Yeah.
to plan for that one. Then it's 2, 3 days later he's playing Swansea, I think it was. 2, 3 days later he's got another Premier League game. There's not time on the training field for these players because obviously you play, you don't train the next day, then the following day you
Yeah,
need
exactly.
additional
There's no
rest.
time for him to implement his ideas properly.
So
Got you,
it's
got
tough.
you. Yeah.
But let's see how he goes after the international break.
Yeah, lost 2-0 today anyway. Uh, away to Newcastle at St. James Park, obviously.
Did you
Baltimore scores again.
did you see
Penalty.
it? Did you use penalty?
No, I haven't seen it. No, sorry.
Phenomenal pen, mate. Top, literally like top right in the top corner, going up, obviously away from him.
Yeah, and he scores again, and I didn't really see it coming that fast, actually, to him.
I didn't
Uh,
know. No, I didn't either.
and why didn't Guimaraes take the penalty? Maybe it's to keep Baltimore scoring, and as we mentioned just with Gyökeres, a striker's confidence comes from scoring goals, and a penalty, you have a one nil lead already uh, at home to Nottingham.
Hmm.
If he misses, then he misses, but we'll still get this done probably. So it was a good. I don't know if the manager told him take the penalty, or if he's their first penalty taken. I don't know. But in any case, uh, well done for putting him there to keep him scoring.
Hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. That was a terrific penalty as well.
Lovely. Right. Last game for us to speak about is Wolverhampton against Brighton.
And this was exactly as we predicted. Well, not exactly, but I think we covered all our bases, to be honest.
Yeah, like we tend to do in most games.
Well,
Did you see the Wolverhampton manager getting the red card?
I didn't. I missed that. What actually happened there? I was going to ask you about
It, you know, nobody saw it. I think it was something he said, or because they were supposed, well, according to him, they were supposed to get a free kick before, and then they didn't get it, and then Brighton got the free kick instead.
that.
So for another tackle, and then Baleba, he really just fucking floors a guy, gets the yellow card, and then he fucking he went on a rant, I think, on
In
the side there.
in
So,
Portuguese,
hey,
in Portuguese,
maybe,
hmm,
probably,
I'd expect him to be going nuts in Portuguese and
yeah.
the
Anyway,
rest.
so he said something probably.
Yeah.
So he got straight red card, and I'm asking you this: is it a 3 game ban for a straight red card for Manchester as well? Because
Uh,
I know that he will miss the next game, and that we'll talk about that in preview
yeah.
in a fortnight. But
I believe so. Yeah. I don't see.
yeah,
I don't think they're immune to you know otherwise
do you
because
believe do you believe VAR can go in and read his lips? No, 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 no. just yellow, mate.
lip syncing. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can we get this confirmed upstairs, please? I said what I said.
Mm.
Um.
Anyway, so we'll see
Yeah.
what happens there. But Monetsi scored. Well, he didn't get the goal actually, but he scored a wonderful strike. It's a shame that didn't go straight in. But there
Mhm.
was the situation straight after
Yeah.
the manager got the red card there. So um,
Yeah, because it went down as a Brugge own goal, didn't it, in the end?
yeah, it
Yeah.
did,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately, but I understand that as well. Van Hecke then scored in the 86th minute, scored from a corner. Well, sort of from a corner. Um,
Not
but
directly.
that's where you could actually, that's where you could and should take advantage of being 10 versus 11. On free kicks or especially corners. I think just sweep it into the box. Because you are one more player on the pitch, um,
You are, but
and that's what they did here.
if you think about it, you have one player taking the ball, so that's one less player you have, and then you usually have
Yeah,
one
sure, but
up
mentally as
to
well. I mean,
two players, on the halfway
mm,
line.
mm.
So,
Yeah, sure,
but yeah, yeah, but yeah, you're
but
right
I think
because
if you just keep putting the ball into the box, when you're 11 versus 10, then
mm,
mentally for the team being one man down is that is mentally really difficult for you to try and defend all the time.
yeah, like a
Uh,
constant siege kind of.
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't really matter if you are like 2 against 2 in the box there, for any given situation. It's just that it's a mentality thing that you need to keep fucking defending all the time, and in the back of your head that they are one more guy on the pitch.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
anyway, in the end, they got the 1-1, and shame for Wolverhampton conceding that late goal once again. They conceded in 92nd or 93rd or so last weekend away to Tottenham,
hmm.
and I think their first win is yet to come. I think in the Premier League.
Yep, they're
They
on
haven't
2 points.
haven't won yet,
Nope.
so that's something else to keep an eye on, obviously. But it's that wrap.
That's a chicken wrap, mate.
I
That
can
is a
imagine
wrap.
right now.
Oh, I'd love one. Uh,
Oof.
yeah, that's a wrap for this week. Congratulations, mate. Made it for another week without getting cancelled.
I didn't say anything
Nick,
really weird, I think.